when we talk about the Ramayana in particular, we think of actually one particular version of the Ramayana, the most popular, of course, being the Ramcharitmanas, the version which was penned by Tulsidas in the 16th century. But we often forget that there are actually about 300 versions of this great epic that we call the Ramayana. And of course, the oldest amongst those is actually what we know as the Mool Ramayana, which is said to have been recited by the sage Narad. And then, of course, the next version was the Valmiki Ramayana, which is the oldest extant version that we have. Even if we just simply look within Sanskrit itself, we have very, very significant variations. For example, we have the Anand Ramayana. And in the Anand Ramayana, there is an abduction not of Sita, but of Kausalya, Ram's mother. So you see the variations in the Ramayans that we have. Then we have the Adbhut Ramayana, in which Sita is born to Ravan's wife, that is Mandodari. And in fact, in this version, it is Sita who slays Ravan, not Ram. Down south in Tamil Nadu, we have the Kamba Ramayana, that is also known as the Ramavtaram. And in this Tamil version, the story ends with Ram's victory in Lanka and his triumphant return to Ayodhya. But in effect, the Uttarakhand is not even there in the Kamba Ramayana.
Diwali is a multicultural festival. Apart from Hindus, it is also celebrated by Jains, Sikhs, and some Buddhists. A festival that goes beyond borders, belonging to all.
There is a Persian version called the Razm-e-Namat that was commissioned by the Mughal Emperor Akbar. There is a Jain version known as the Paumachariyu, in which Ravan is killed by Lakshman, not Ram. In Buddhist literature, one has the Dashrath Jataka, in which Ram is described as a bodhisattva. And then, most interestingly, there is the Mappila Ramayana, which is the Ramayana narrated from the Malabari Muslim perspective, in which Ram even refers to Sharia law and is a sultan. So, I mean, the point is that the number of ways that the Ramayana has been described and the way this narrative has flown from one region to another is indicative of the significance of Ram as a global icon of sorts.
Look at this picture. This large footprint in Thailand is believed to be that of Lord Hanuman's, the great devotee of Lord Rama. Similar physical traces were also found in Malaysia and Sri Lanka, where Hanuman is believed to have landed millions of years ago.
Many versions of the Ramayana have been written since sage Valmiki first composed his epic.
The epic Ramayana has been one of the greatest influences in Southeast Asia. This is the historic city of Ayutthaya. The second capital of the Siamese kingdom, now Thailand, is named after Lord Ram's capital of Ayodhya. The great epic is believed to have reached this region as early as the 7th century through trade routes from South India. Buddhism was the main religion of the kingdom of Ayutthaya. But Hindu scriptures like the Ramayana had a major influence too. Most Southeast Asian countries have a regional version of the Ramayana. In Thailand, the epic is known as Ramakien or Ramakien.
The Ramayana traveled outside of India. So, for example, there is Thailand, which has the Ramakien. For 400 odd years of Chakri rule, the capital of Thailand was known as Ayutthaya, similar to Ayodhya. And the earlier name of Thailand, please recall, was Siam, which is derived from the word Shyam, a word which implies the dusky color of Ram.
Interestingly, the institution of the Thai monarchy has its roots in Hinduism and Buddhism. The reigning Chakri dynasty was founded in 1782, and the monarchs from this dynasty are called the Rama kings, after the Hindu god Rama. The current monarch, King Maha Vajiralongkorn, is officially known as King Rama X. He was crowned in May 2019. This group of men are performing the traditional Kecak dance in Bali, Indonesia. Based on the story of the Ramayana, the music drama was developed in the 1930s. The performance depicts a battle from the Ramayana, in which the monkey-like Vanaras, led by Lord Hanuman, help Lord Ram fight the evil Ravan. And then there's the popular Ramayana ballad. Since 1961, it has been performed regularly at the Hindu Prambanan temple on the border of Yogyakarta, the central Java provinces. Performed in the Javanese style, in 2012, the ballet entered the Guinness Book of World Records as the most continuously staged performance in the world, as well as involving the most performers. Indonesia is the world's most populous Muslim country. Around 210 of its 242 million citizens are classified as Muslims. And yet, the sprawling archipelago's fascination with the Ramayana is not new.
Indonesia, and specifically Bali, provide a model of interreligious harmony, where Hindus make up, I think, 2% of the population. So it's by no means, a country where you have a critical mass. And yet, you see the Ramayana celebrated not just for its spiritual significance, but it is appreciated for its cultural place in the country and in the culture. Then you look at places like Pakistan and Bangladesh, where institutionally the religious minority face a lot of obstacles.
It is believed the Ramayana came to Indonesia around the 8th or 9th century, written in the old Javanese language. It became known as the Kakawin Ramayana. In 2019, to mark 70 years of diplomatic ties between India and Indonesia, Jakarta released a special commemorative stamp based on the theme of Ramayana. It depicts a scene in which Jatayu, the demigod in the form of a vulture, fought to save Sita. Have you heard of the tale of Ravana's daughter, Subanmacha, who tries to stop Hanuman from building the bridge to Sri Lanka? Instead, she falls in love with him. It can be found in Cambodia's poetic adaptation of Ramayana, Riamker, which means glory of Rama.
The Riamker is the national epic of Cambodia. In this version, we have a completely new character also called Sobana Macha, a mermaid who Hanuman meets on his journeys. And of course, Riamker is not just a literary work, but is also retold through sculptures, paintings, dance drama, including adorning the walls of the great Hindu temple, which later became a Buddhist place of worship, Angkor Wat.
Located in northern Cambodia, Angkor Wat is said to be the largest religious monument in the world. Built in the 12th century by King Suryavarman II, the vast religious complex is steeped in history and legend. Sculpted scenes from the Ramayana and the Mahabharata adorn the temple walls. It is a bridge to the past and a famed example of cultural transfer. And it is not the only one.
in Myanmar, for example, in Burma, we have the Ramayana, or the Burmese version, which is it's actually the Burmese version of the Dashrath Jataka. In this version, Ram is known as Yam, Sita is known as Mathida, Lakshman is known as Lakhan, and Ravan is Yavana. Then you have a Tibetan version of the Ramayana, which was discovered in the Dunhuang caves of Xinjiang. Surprisingly, it has rather little Buddhist influence, but according to this version, it is Ravan who abducts Sita, but by tunneling the earth rather than grabbing her, as is depicted in traditional versions of the Ramayana. Similarly, in Malaysia, we have the Hikayat Seri Rama, in which Ravana has a daughter, but when it is predicted that she will cause his downfall, he packs her into a copper box and commits her to the waters. Eventually, she is found by another king and is adopted, and later on, she marries Rama. And of course, the Malaysian Ramayana is the theme of the shadow puppet play, which is known as Wayang Kulits. And then we have the Philippines version, which is the Maharadya Lavana, in which Ravan is depicted having 7 heads, not 10. And the famous dance of Singkil takes its inspiration in the Philippines from Ramayana.
Fascinating, isn't it? There are hundreds of tellings and retellings of the Ramayana. It is a cultural phenomenon that transcends boundaries and speaks to each of us individually and uniquely.